Conquered another game, a long day, a job well done, and the final work call. Where your place. Come as you are and fit in comfortably. Mr. Mice, eat locally, enjoy casually.
Stood at the pinnacle of curling and battled in the most intense games.
Out on the ice, there's no room for compromise.
And when the pressure's on, every millimeter counts.
It's not just a game.
It's about maximizing performance,
Pushing limits.
Seizing victory.
When victory hangs in the balance,
I know what I'm relying on.
it's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
And it's the choice of champions.
When it comes to the game we love, having the right gear makes all the difference.
Gold Line's new curling shoes and brooms are a game changer.
The shoes, unbelievably comfortable.
And the brooms, lightweight and effective, giving you control on every sweep.
When I step onto the ice, I'm not just prepared, I look sharp.
Have you seen these shoes? They are a game changer.
And the brooms, light as a feather.
It's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
And is the choice of champions.
It has happened where people just haven't noticed and they've run out of time. I'm like, sounds good. Oh, overcooked it a bit. Jeez.
Clean! Keep going, EP! Keep going! Keep going! Keep going! Keep going! Keep going! Keep going!
Minus 1,000 flash will win apres curl.
Oh, they're really sweeping this, boys.
They're
really sweeping this. Oh boy, you can't give up a steal here.
Oh, perfect.
Okay, nice shot from Kate.
But here we go, it's happening.
Yeah, draw for the win for Rylan Kleider. Needs a piece of the forefoot. He's been really good all game. Trevor Johnson on this one here.
Can't hear yet for line ever.
No, they like line. Now does it have the speed? They like the line. Does it have the speed? They're going hard for line. You have to get by this top yellow. Trevor Johnson leaning on it. He's by it. Now does it stop in time? Has to stop in time. What a shot from Rylan Kleider. We thought it was maybe the hardest option up from the booth, but that's why we're not down there.
A long day, a job well done, and the final work call. Where your place. Come as you are and fit in comfortably. Mr. Mice, eat locally, enjoy casually.
Stood at the pinnacle of curling and battled in the most intense games.
Out on the ice, there's no room for compromise.
And when the pressure's on, every millimeter counts.
It's not just a game.
It's about maximizing performance,
Pushing limits.
Seizing victory.
When victory hangs in the balance,
I know what I'm relying on.
it's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
And it's the choice of champions.
Yep. Yep. Isabella Verano.
Yep.
First up, throwing the Red Rocks from Cortina down Pezzo, Italy, to Constantini. Red One throwing the Yellow Rocks, curling in a touchdown, Korea, Team High. Matchup on Sheet D, first up, throwing the Red Rocks, curling out of Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada, Team Carey. And their opponents throwing the Yellow Rocks, curling out of Ottawa, Ontario, Canada, Team Homeland. We encourage you to be as loud as you want when you want, but please, no flash photography. Games will begin momentarily. Good luck to all, and good
Should I lie? No, I'm kidding. Yeah, this has been awesome already. The first draw this afternoon with Team Gushu on the ice, and it was electric, I got to say, for a, I don't even know what day it is, Tuesday afternoon?
It's Tuesday. Yeah. Tuesday, literally a Tuesday afternoon, Brent.
So, and even tonight, I mean, Brad and the boys aren't playing, but this is a big arena. There's a lot of people here, so it's pretty awesome. Everywhere you go in town, I've been here just 24 hours, and everywhere you go, it's, you know, there's posters and people are talking about it. Are you here for the curling? So the whole, not just the city, but the whole province is embracing it. So it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, really tough to get tickets, and it's, you know, you will see some empty seats, but that's just people who have bought tickets for the whole week and maybe are a little exhausted after cheering on their hometown boy to victory this afternoon. But yeah, certainly we're expecting huge crowds here all week, and as you said, still quite a big crowd for this night draw. This Mary Brown Center holds almost 7,000 people. And so it's, as I said off the top, Sung-Yoon Ha against Stefania Constantini. And for this Team Ha, Brent, they're a new team on tour. We talked about it before the broadcast. They were actually in the Tier 2 to start the season, made the semifinals of the Tier 2, and then found their way into the Co-op Canadian Open and made the semifinals there. Part of the first time two South Korean teams have ever been in a Slam semifinal. You know, what have you been seeing out of the South Korean women's program in general? Because it's been so good lately.
Yeah, they're kind of teetering on dominance, really. They're all racing up the rankings. I mean, to go to the Tier 2, win that, and then get to a semifinal, that's not supposed to happen. You're supposed to get into the slams and then get your ass kicked for a while.
Yeah.
That's, you know, ask Brian Kleider. They found out they did it the right way.
Yeah,
but,
exactly.
Yeah, no, it's impressive. And like you said, the whole program, right? There's numerous teams coming up. Seems like they're adding a top, 25 team almost every year, especially on the ladies' side. Men's program is a little bit lacking behind, but that's unfair because you're comparing it to probably the fastest rising program in curling, especially on the ladies' side in curling. So it's impressive. I don't know who's in charge. I don't know what the secret is, but it's working.
Something's working for sure.
Working.
Yeah, this Team Ha is the youngest of the three major South Korean teams. Of course, we are both very familiar with Team Gim and Team Kim. And this Team Ha has done very well. They were the Korean women's champions back in 2022, and they also won the World Junior Silver Medal back in 2020, losing that one to Mackenzie Zacharias. But they've been really, really solid, as I said. Great in that slam. They lost to Rachel Homan, the eventual champion of the Co-op Canadian Open, so certainly no shame in that either. And we know on the other side of the sheet, Stefania Constantini, also a team from, maybe not a nation we would have traditionally expected to be powerful at curling, but they've got themselves up to world number 8 in the rankings, and they've been really solid. They've qualified in every event they've played in so far this season.
Yeah, I have been impressed with the Italian team too. Tons of great shot making, especially Stefania. She looks like she's not afraid of any shot, makes the hits, makes the draws. Just shows that from time to time there's a little bit of inexperience. I mean, I know she's got quite a bit. She's got an Olympic gold medal, so who am I to judge her? And did it without losing a game in the mixed doubles. But just from time to time, it looks like a little bit unsure of, exactly what their team strategy is and what to do in certain situations. And unfortunately, you can study all the tape in the world. The best way to do it is to do it wrong, learn from your hard knocks, and then move along. And that's what she's doing now, though. She's always in the mix at these slams, though. I'm impressed.
So rocks piling up in the house here early. Tae Yang looking to freeze on top of this pile. This might be stopping a little short. Kim and Kim trying to drag it there, and it does indeed fall a little bit short. But that's not a terrible spot, I don't think.
Reasonable. There's a tricky but probably makeable yellow double, but so Stefania, lying shot, having won the last stone draw, is not loving the stack in the middle, so gonna peel the guard. Looks like she's peeling it across the top. I hope she's not running it into that one top 12. This could be huge trouble. What are we doing there? So she's kind of proving me right there. That's,
yeah.
That's a total misread, and that couldn't have been what she was hoping would happen. Unless I got the colors backwards. Italy's red, right?
Italy is red, yes. Yes. So they do leave 2 South Korean stones in the house. And, not ideal, I wouldn't say, Brent. Especially with the hammer. But maybe that was the game plan, trying to clear up a little bit of the debris there. But, yeah, certainly early advantage perhaps to the South Korean team from the Chuncheon province. And for this Italian team, we know they are a 5-person team. They switch their lineups quite a bit throughout the season and within events as well. So the lineup we're seeing here tonight has Stefania Constantini at skip as usual. We have Giulia Zardini Laciadelli all the way up to 3rd. At times, she's been the lead, the 2nd. She's usually in the house, but she's now actually throwing 3rd. Elena Mathis is throwing 2nd, and then Angela Romay throwing lead with Marta Lo Deserto on the bench this evening.
And I actually don't see Marta yet. Did you see her?
No, I haven't seen her, so it's possible she's not even here. They did just come off the Europeans too, Brent. I mean, what a turnaround for these European teams. They go right from the Co-op Canadian Open to the forests of Finland and then turn right around to come back to Newfoundland. It can't be easy to be out there right now.
No, and that's a long event. The Euros is almost like 10 days and ends with a rockin' party, I've heard. I've never obviously played in that, but I thought that was getting
that was almost really good. This is looking even better for Team Ha here.
Could whip another one around. Probably that one's mostly open though, so probably just gonna guard. But yeah, the Euros is it's a tough, the scheduling, it's a big topic in curling. There's nobody that's in charge of the overall schedule. There's not even in charge, but the groups who run the different groups that run the schedules don't sit down and chat. So It just is what it is, and I've got a bigger event than yours, and I'll put it where I want, and then you kind of react, and it doesn't seem like it's the best thing for curling, but it seems like that's the way it's been. And yeah, the Euros sandwiched in between 2 slams for these teams. Edmonton to Finland, back to Newfoundland. This may as well be in St. Martin. It is an island. It's hard to get to. weather would be nicer down there.
Certainly, yeah. It might be tougher to keep curling ice down in St. Martin, but
maybe. We'll see if the frost comes in here, John. So double peel here coming just for Team Italy now, just really trying to find a way to score a point. The double's made here, though, and open up the center. Probably be another guard, and then just a half shot, though, by Team Ha. There might be a hit and roll behind the corner or behind the one top 12, and this needs to curl, though. Can't leave that yellow there. Oh, left everything there, just ticked it, and now we're in big trouble if we're cheering for Italy. So don't need to guard anymore. Draw right in there. Tap it to the button if you can. Line first. Leave this to the sweepers. Try and draw the top 4. Let the sweepers finish it in there and tap it right on the nose. And, yeah, Italy's going to be in jail here.
So big shot here for Hee-Rin Kim. As you said, Brent, potential to put Team Italy in jail here.
Anything but heavy and chap off, really. If this is even a little short in the top 8 foot, don't want to wreck on the guard, but I don't think that guard's... Sounds like they're well clear of that. As I say that, they got to go for line. Yeah, this looks really good.
Really good shot from Hee-Rin Kim.
And that's probably for most young teams. You see them kind of struggle on some draws, and they're good hitters. But I've always thought, and not everything I think is right, but I've always thought the teams that draw the best every game are the teams that win the games. I mean, the hits might be what we remember, but you can't peel a team down until you get multiple points, and you don't get multiple points until you draw well. This looks like it's gone low.
Boy.
This is bad to worse. Julia will not be happy with either of those two throws. Straight guard now, and if you're Stefania, you got to be eyeing that red kind of semi-corner, semi-center guard, and doesn't feel right to leave it buried, leave this center guard and run that in there. But if you really want to score, and there's a party breaking out.
Yeah, this is only in St. John's, Newfoundland do we see just.
I think that was a dance-off.
Yeah, it was some kind of, I don't know, kitchen party dance-off, something going on down there. But yeah, you're right, Brent. I think if you're Team Constantini, you're hoping you land on community chest and pull a get-out-of-jail-free card.
Right.
Because this is ugly, and if Sung Yun Ha can put this one in a good spot, it's going to be real trouble.
Right in front of first and second shot, probably right in the middle of that Coyote logo, the Coyote National here. And then, yeah, like I said, you can run this one straight back, which might be able to make all 3 and roll the guard a little bit. You're still going to be forced. If you run the red one in, there's a run double that might even stay buried, and kind of out of nowhere, you might be able to get a deuce, but if you miss that, you're going to give up a steal. It's just a matter of how many, probably. I like running that red one, though. I don't think it's any harder.
Yeah, if you're Team Ha, would you have liked to get that one hooked a little bit?
You could have hooked it, but I think just probably 3 or 4 feet higher. You know, if they make the red one, they make the red one. There's not a ton you can do about it. It looks like she's playing the yellow into the side yellow, maybe? If she throws it 100 miles an hour, she could make this slash double roll into move the ones in the middle. But, yeah, I think if you hooked it, it might have over-curled and left the straight double. So maybe they were making it tight there in case she makes that. You know, you got the shorter run back yourself.
So an important shot early here for Stefania Constantini. Team Ha already lying 3.
Trying to make it curl here. It is
Elena
curling.
Mathis trying to bring it over. How much? Oh, no.
That was not ideal. Now do you want to come in the house on the same line, and
my goodness, just absolute worst case scenario for Team Constantini there. Doesn't touch any of the yellows. You love these conversations in the first end, eh, Brent?
Yeah.
Just
how can we more?
Just twist the knife? Let's just.
So there's not going to be a draw here, no matter what. There's not a draw right now. So one of those reds is coming back, you would think, or a straight tap on the on Stefania's shooter there. But yeah, that's how I feel about that shot too.
Yeah, yikes.
So, and that's why I wouldn't hate this if this slides, into the top 12 foot. There would be a triple on the yellows, but I think a lot of times you're going to steal 2. Just short, though, a lot of times you're going to steal 2 and maybe 3 too. So I don't know. No real bad spot for this.
So final stone here for Seung-Yoon Ha in the first end. A chance to really apply some pressure on Stefania Constantini. Already lying 3 in search of the perfect guard. And it looked like they were trying to get this one deeper than this, kind of hook this one a little bit. But they don't quite get that, but that's a pretty good spot, I think.
Took away both holes on both sides. So it's a red one coming in. It's a matter of how hard and what are we trying to do with it. I think it's easier with speed, honestly, but it's... And I also think, I guess it'd be hard to... You couldn't possibly put it through the hole twice in a row, could you, John?
I mean, you could.
Yeah, you definitely... I could. Not on purpose, but...
You could, yeah.
For whatever reason, and this is totally up to the thrower, the other side looks more natural to me.
Yeah.
Something comforting about knowing if it overcurls a little bit, it's going to come off. There's a way to come off the other one and still maybe make it.
Yeah, this one you're in danger of the overcurl and the undercurl. So... Yeah. You said at the start of this game, Brent, that Stefania Constantini was fearless. She's going to need to reach into her bag of tricks here. Been facing 3 for most of the end. Final stone and needs a huge shot here to save disaster.
Looks like about 2/3. They like it, I think. They're not very...
Sounds close.
Not very worried.
Oh my gosh.
I told you they couldn't do that, John, and when I say it's impossible, it's very possible.
I said they could.
So you're right.
And I'm sad to be right. That is a steal of 3 for Seung-Yoon Ha. We'll see if Constantini can get it back when we come back.
When it comes to the game we love, having the right gear makes all the difference.
Gold Line's new curling shoes and brooms are a game changer.
The shoes, unbelievably comfortable.
And the brooms, lightweight and effective, giving you control on every sweep.
When I step onto the ice, I'm not just prepared, I look sharp.
Have you seen these shoes? They are a game changer.
And the brooms, light as a feather.
It's a Gold Line.
It's a Gold Line.
It's a Gold Line.
And is the choice of champions.
So the dream start for this young team Ha. Applying pressure early in the end, able to maintain it. They steal 3 to get this game going. And Brent Lang, we were just talking in the break, really just for Team Constantini, it was almost like an easy steal of 3. They really didn't make any shots that end, just a really tough end for them.
Yeah, I mean, Julia's flashing that double peel, but they were already in trouble by then. It wasn't a good end. Team Ha made a couple of decent shots and one really good come-around bump, but giving up 3 in the first hurts, but when it's a steal, just because our brains are the way they are, it feels a lot worse. The score is the same, but man, it feels like you gave up 5.
Totally. I can remember, saying that when we would, maybe not a steal of 3, but something, you get unlucky, you give up a steal of 2 or whatever, and you say, well, they had the hammer and they got 2. And that's like your way of trying to talk yourself out of it. It's like if they had the hammer and they got 2, you wouldn't be dying.
Did that ever work?
No.
No, but you said it.
But you said it. Yeah,
of course.
Yeah, no, it never worked. But speaking of that, 2 kind of half misses here to start the end. A little deep for Soojin Kim and a little high for Angela Romay.
Soojin just wants to throw this one full forfeit. Just ignore that first one. Probably would be better if it wasn't in front of it. So right on the center line. And I think you're going to see Italy ask for another corner guard. That one's too high, but that could have been the plan, thinking let's throw 2 on one side and try and generate some offense that way. A little strong again, though. That's a nice start for Team Italy. Like, those are both helpful for Stefania.
Yeah, usually for a lead especially, you would see a weight correction on that second stone, but unfortunately for Su Jin, too deep. We'll see if Angela Romay can capitalize here.
The leads do get stuck with the bad rocks a lot.
True.
Maybe that's the case. We saw Benny Hebert in this afternoon's game. Looked like he had a fairly substantial cutter, and he was not super excited about over curling on a hit in the first end. They went in, he was a little wide, and they went in to sweep it to curl. And like right away it took a jump, and he flashed it low. And But you don't want the challenging rocks anywhere near your third or skip's hands, so it's always in the front end, and that's just part of the deal.
And I was curious, Brent, because not that you have direct experience with this, but, your wife was a part of one of the teams, Jennifer Jones, was part of one of the teams kind of pioneering this like 5-person team type thing with Team Italy. The slam season so far has only been 6 weeks long. I think you and I have called this team with like 5 or 6 different lineups. The only constant really has been Stefania. Constantini, no pun intended, but she's been the only constant. Like, how does that, are these teams just cool with it now? Or are they just good at managing it and it's not really an issue? Like, is it hard to find a flow? What do you think? I'm sure you talked with Jen about it a lot.
Yeah, and when Jen's team came together, the idea was that she would take a few events off, and she did. And for them, it was a whole team coming on and bringing in Jen. So it was the young team. And yeah, I think at times it worked. I think it's difficult, especially because nobody's used to it. I think it will become more normal. And for the European teams, it's much more normal, it seems. I'd be interested to talk to them and the coach about how do you decide, and is it just a rotation? Because when Jen had 5, they just, ahead of time, they knew the rotation. They knew what was happening. So at least they took those question marks out, and it was never a coach making decisions, although that might be easier for the players. It's never like, well, this player doesn't want me to play. It's the coach. At least get mad at
yeah.
Glenn Howard. He's hard to get mad at too, so he should have just let him do it. But I don't know. It's still so new in the sport. I think there's challenges, but Team Italy here is one of the best teams in the world, top 10 in the world still, and qualifying at slams and working on the rotation. So I don't know. It's foreign to me.
No, I agree. I think I agree with you. I think it's something we will get a little more used to, but is definitely something that does seem a little foreign, and that shot does slide a hair deep for Elena Mathis. So this is kind of a crucial shot here early for Tae Yang to cut this off, freeze on top of this red.
I will say with the 5-person team that it makes sense to me in regular tour spiels where, there's lots of games in a short period of time, but at the slams, there's lots of sitting around already. So if I play today and then we play tomorrow and I'm not in the lineup, I've had, I got to go throw some rocks. I want to keep the feel going. I want to, it's just so different. There's so much time, and this one's got a curl and stop, John.
Yeah, is this like a downhill sheet or what's going on here? We've seen everybody come heavy. Aside from Angela Romay's first guard, this pretty much been all heavy. But I guess it's not in a horrible position, Brent.
It's mostly buried, but it is, a halfway guard. So if you get back 4 foot, back 8 foot, and get anywhere close to that guard, good chance here.
This looks like it's got a lot of weight.
Yeah, you could do anything but overthrow this, really, even if it just froze on the nose. But
that's a ton of weight.
Yeah, you don't want to do that. Even punches that one back to not sit 4th shot, or not sit 3rd, it's 4th. An interesting end, though. I mean, really, Team Ha missed their first 3 shots. There's no way they were throwing a center guard on the 3rd one, and then made a decent freeze and caught a break here, and now they're hitting and rolling to lie 2 buried. I'm not sure you want to nose this. I wouldn't hate rolling under the guards. I know there'd be a freeze or something, but definitely don't want to hit this high and return the favor. And hit and roll 1 rock underneath is perfect, right in line with that other yellow, and turns into a pretty good steal opportunity.
Yeah, we saw Hirin set one up last end. We'll see if she can do it again here. It was with a draw last end. We'll see if she's got the hit.
They're pointing like it's heavy, so they're trying to carve it. Oh, the double carve. I remember this team.
Love the double
it.
carve. Okay.
Just leaves it shot, though.
Yeah. Not ideal there for Hee-Rin Kim. You could tell they, I don't know if they didn't like the thrower. Maybe it was a little more weight than they expected, but certainly went with the double carve early, which suggests to me they didn't love it out of the hand.
Another one that you just kind of had to make sure you didn't miss heavy, but easy to say from up here. I've made a lot of mistakes up here, but I've yet to miss a shot.
Yeah, it's been a nice change for me.
So Julia needs to make this come around, get it buried, keep it in front of the tee line. They want it to curl and stop by the looks of it. This is heavy, and that's just disaster.
Ooh, if it stops for a third shot, it's not. Oh!
$1,000.
Congratulations.
Whiff of the week, maybe.
Whiff
Is she
of the
okay?
week. Well, yeah, let's see. Elena went right off the ice immediately here. I think it's maybe just to check the mic pack, actually.
She was heading off the ice to get her mic pack checked, just happened to slip, I think. Hopefully she's not. Lower back would be the place you'd probably get hurt falling, but no, she looks
She
fine.
seems okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, definitely an early contender for the $1,000 whiff of the week. I mean, I was speculating, not that, this is too early to say, but, if your team's 0-3 maybe later in the week, you're losing.
You're expecting some dives.
I'm thinking we might see some dives.
Oh, boy, that's questionable ethics.
Well, I mean, it's $1,000.
Dunstone won last time, right? He had a good one, like just full-blown tire out of the hack.
Just a full
Right
Superman right out of the hack, yeah. Yeah, full-time Superman.
So they called a timeout.
Yeah, this is early for that.
I think you need to draw. I mean, it doesn't feel right, but if you hit the open one, if Stefania plays a draw, it's still third, second shot. So if she draws one in there, then what do you do next?
Well, that's the question.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what they're talking over right now.
Yeah, I know when Wayne Maddaw coached Team Hasselberg, and Wayne's always a confident guy about strategy for obvious reasons. He knows what he's talking about. But he was great at coming out, not wasting time, saying, this is what I think, this is what they'll do, and then this is what we do next. And I mean, I don't speak Korean, so even if I could hear him, I have no idea what he's saying.
Yeah, I can't hear them either, but.
So the options are you hit the open one, you peel it out of there, I guess. They draw around, or you nose it, stay shot, they still draw around. And then what do you do if they make a good come around? Because you can't rely on them to continue to miss open come arounds. Could freeze there. That's not silly. That cuts off both those reds. They're going to come down and bump it. Stay shot so that maybe they can move it on the next one. You're going to freeze again. I think most times we're going to see like 5 draws around that corner guard right now. Or 5 shots anyway. You could leave it high too, like just in front of the tee line. Because of where that yellow one is back 8, that jam on that one leaves it out counting both reds too. So you could just bury it top 4 foot. It's probably the best shot. What do you think, John?
Yeah, I mean, I like it. I think, like you said, the draw leaves some risk for sure.
Yeah.
You come up short here, or you come up heavy's a disaster zone. You come up heavy and you're potentially giving 3 right back. So I think that's, probably what feels wrong about this. But I agree with you. I think if this draw is made, it's the right call. So has to be made here for Hee-Rin Kim.
Jumped on it right away. Oh, here comes the reinforcements too.
Oh, yeah. You don't want to be anywhere short. This has to be somewhere for second or ideally first, but it's got to be second shot at least.
Not going to get there.
Oh, boy. So this is...
Oh, what a sweep.
Wow. Phenomenal sweep from Kim and Yang.
Second shot by the looks of it, but that's huge to get that extra couple inches. I would have quit on it, so that's again why I'm up here.
Oh, yeah, that's really important. They leave that anywhere short, and Stefania's hitting the lie 3, so.
Should be able to always hold Italy here now to 2, even if this is made really well. Hit the back one. I guess they could draw again, so still not out of the woods. Julia's second here, third stone. This looks pretty good. They're on and off. Don't want this behind the tee line. Don't want this behind the tee line.
No, just that hair heavy again from Zardini Lacidelli.
They kind of were on and off that the whole way. It didn't look like line trouble, like they loved it again, and it's really, that's a 1.5 foot heavy. But maybe they're setting the trap, John. You know, it's if that's above the tee line, they probably don't draw, and they hit and stay in the open one. Then you got a really tough draw, or probably a nose to take your deuce. This way, if you get a miss, maybe you can sneak a 3 out of here. If they make it, though, you're probably only getting 1. Risk reward.
One of those, though, too, that even though it is a little risky, there's not really another shot. So you just kind of go, well, yeah, it's risky, but what are you going to do?
Yeah, if you hit the open one now, they're going to play that shot, and then you're going to have to play a similar freeze against Moore and to a smaller spot. So still a little bit of room for error. Even if this is just past the yellow, second shot, an inch buried, it's, you know, Stefania won't be able to ignore it.
Precise shot required here for Sung Yoon Ha. Her first in the second. Nothing at all from Kim and Yang here.
This is a rocket.
Yeah, this is a disaster if it goes through this hole. Oh, boy. Unfortunately, not close from Sung Yoon Ha. And like you said, Brent, sneaky 3 developing here. And actually, 4 not out of the question at the moment.
If they try too hard not to give up 3, they might give up 4.
Yeah.
If Stefania makes this really good, I would suggest hitting the back one and giving them 3 and taking the tie game. You started without the hammer, but so same idea here for Stefania. There's so many jams at the back. As long as this isn't wide open for a hit and roll under for second shot, it's going to be good enough that I don't know that they can really remove it. Needs to be a little bit better than full 8 to lie 3. Ideally would be kind of just full 4, mostly buried, and make Team Ha make a really tough decision. Maybe make them blow their second time out of the game in the second end. That would be...
I would love that. Yeah. I don't know if I've ever seen that.
I definitely have not seen that. Especially up 3-0.
So Mathis and Romeo on this now. On and off, it looks really good. Oh, that's a really good spot for that. And just like that, Team Constantini lies 3.
No, don't tap there. You got to hit the open.
That's where when you're the front end at the other end, you go, oh, boy.
Like, this is very, very possible. It's the best shot by a mile. Because if you make it, not only are they not getting 3, they're only going to get 1, maybe. Draw right to where a broom is, but anything else, then high likelihood you're going to give up 4. So they're burning all kinds of time. They're already used 10 minutes and a timeout.
Yeah, we can see in the game next to us between Chelsea Carey and Rachel Homan. Rachel Homan, they're playing the third end, has 27 minutes left still. And even Constantini in our own game, 27-48. Hogg about to be a full 4 minutes slower.
And we do get lots of time. Like, is it 32 or 34? I think it's 32, actually.
It is 32, yeah.
But you don't want to be rushed late. We see it every slam. There's certain teams that just use it all up all the time.
Might be 33. I think it's actually 33.
All right, split the difference.
Yeah, I think it's 33.
I know this. They've used too much.
It's definitely way too much, yeah. Especially because the ends haven't been overly complicated. But this is a complicated shot here, as you outlined, Brent, for Sung-Yoon Ha. Her final stone, if this is not in the right spot, she's potentially giving up 4. Pressure draw.
No fear. I wouldn't even look at this shot myself. Doesn't look light. Needs to bury just a little piece of it, but it needs to be top button, so this needs to slow down, maybe?
Does look like it needs to slow down. And twice in a row, Sung-Yoon Ha comes deep. And it is an open draw for 4 for Stefania Constantini.
I wonder if the ice, this sheet's faster that way, or the ice just picked up from first to second end, but look at where all those draws are.
Oh yeah, tons of misses heavy here.
So if you're betting, and I hope you are, I don't even know if you're allowed to yet, but it's coming. If it's not, it's going to be right on that GSOC app. But if you're betting, really hope you got a lot on the over. It's going to be 4-3 after 30 minutes.
So final stone, Stefania Constantini needs just a little better than full 8 foot to score 4.
Nice that she just threw this draw as well. She also has backing, I think.
Yes, I would agree.
I don't see a lot of holes to get through here, even if you're heavy, so. Bit of a sweeper's dream, just saw it, and you have all sorts of backing, so make your mistake back 8, and this is no mistake.
Yeah, this is right on the pin for Stefania Constantini, and so it will be 4 on the board after giving up a steal of 3. Buckle up, baby. We got a game.
I've stood at the pinnacle of curling and battled in the most intense games.
Out on the ice, there's no room for compromise.
And when the pressure's on, every millimeter counts.
It's not just a game.
It's about maximizing performance,
Pushing limits.
Seizing victory.
When victory hangs in the balance,
I know what I'm relying on.
It's a gold line.
it's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
And it's the choice of champions.
Well, Brent Lang, as I said off the top of the broadcast, I don't know why I keep saying your first and last name after every end, but it's a new style.
Respect. It is.
Like right.
Like
yes, sorry. Mr. Brent Lang. Yes, as we said off the top, Stefania Constantini has played in a number of events this season, I believe 8 to be exact, and no, 7, and has only not qualified in one of them, and maybe leaning on that experience here, as does not seem too cowed by giving up 3 in the first end, comes right back with a score of 4 in the second.
Yeah, I said it would be interesting to see how they react to, emotionally giving up the steal of 3. I did not expect a 4. That would have been late. If we were playing ends and I had the 4 red, I would have been pretty excited. I was going to get a free drink, but anyway, 1-point lead, and now we get to see how Team Ha reacts to, you get a big break and then you give a bigger one right back, and both teams need to settle the ship a little bit. There's just too many misses so far on both sides.
Yeah, it's just been a tale of 2 ends, really. In the first end, we saw Team Constantini miss quite a few, and again, simple shots, really, the ones that they did miss, and then similar thing for Sung-Yoon Ha there in that second end. It, was just draw weight, seemed to elude them for whatever reason, and Constantini makes them pay.
So more standard start here. No corner guard for Team Ha. Going straight around the center, and this one looks pretty good. So three makes in a row. That one's not quite frozen, but in a very usable, good spot. We're going to see the battle for the angles up top here. I want to get this at least to the nose, if not across, but they're not sold on it. They're going to play the other turn. They're going to run out of time this game.
I would love to see it. You almost never see it at this level. And as you said, a lot of that is just due to the fact that you have quite a lot of time.
Yeah, some like mixed doubles, it's almost part of the game. They want you to be rushed. I'm not sure why, but it is. It's not enough time. But in especially the slams, it's plenty of time. All of these teams have played with time clocks tons and know where they need to be, but 22:45 left for Team Ha in the third end. So, I mean, it's not that hard to play an end in even 2 minutes. But you don't want to be making rushed calls late. This one's light, and we got a messy end coming again, John. So
we love it.
Yeah,
7 points already. Let's keep it coming, baby.
Less fun for the coaches, players, and fans of these teams, but
yeah, but for us,
oh, fantastic.
Oh, beautiful.
Nothing better than a 14-12 finish.
Oh, absolutely. As a neutral observer, it's pretty much all you can hope for. I lived in Vancouver for 25 years, was never a Canucks fan. And I went to a Canucks-Colorado game that finished 7-6 in overtime, which is about as good as it gets when you really don't care who wins.
Right.
And might be a similar thing here for these fans in St. John's if they're not necessarily fans of Team Constantini or Team Ha, or maybe don't know them super well. This is a good way to get introduced with what's appearing to be an early barn burner. That's a really nice tap there from Elena Mathis. It is still Team Ha lying the one.
They realize they're in a little bit of trouble. They could hit the top one and roll under. Looks like there's space just. Even if it tickled the red on the way by, it would, free up that freeze. So this is pretty defensive. I hate to say it's a time clock call. They don't seem too concerned about it. They're talking about it again. So trying to make this double peel. Maybe you could, if you could hit it thin enough or right in the right spot, maybe it spins. The yellow one might spin close to the house. That would be a nice bonus point. Otherwise, I think you'll see Stefania just hitting line 3.
Double peel here for Tae Yang, and sweepers on this right away. It's
very close.
Pretty good if you can keep this one on the rings.
Spin's going to get her, though.
Stefania trying not to encourage the spin there. Either that or she just didn't feel like sweeping. It's one or the other. You never know.
She didn't look very concerned.
With skips, you never know.
I agree. Strange breed, like goalies.
True. Well, and you played a long time for Kevin Cooey and Glenn Howard. Fair to say, 2 of the worst skip sweepers to ever do it.
Sweepers, oh,
yeah.
Wow.
Sweepers only.
Don't you remember in like 1993, Glenn slider sweeping on the same side with Wayne?
Who could forget?
Right? No wonder the damn intern curled so much. Double carve with the hair.
Yeah.
This is over curling, I think.
Yeah, speaking of over carving, but that kind of worked out for them pretty good if that red sticks.
It does.
You hear the sorry there from Stefania Constantini. Oh, sorry, we made a better shot than what we called.
So no danger here now for Team Constantini, but a good chance to maybe make a force getting into the second half of this end. And for Team Ha, no real offensive shots here. Can we make a double? I don't think so. So can we hit and roll and maybe set up a double on the next one? Whatever we do, though, we need to burn some more clock. Let's do it slow. As I say that, I look over at Team Kim's clock, and they're a little bit ahead of us in the end, but they also have less time left.
Yeah, their clock starts with 20, so
might be a program thing.
Yeah, it could be a Korean directive. Take as long as you possibly can in the first 4 ends and then speed to the finish. I like to call that time crisis mode. I don't know if you ever played that video game Time Crisis. It was a classic arcade game. It had the plastic guns you'd shoot at the screen.
Okay.
And it was called Time Crisis because obviously if you ran out of time, you lose.
I played Time Crisis for 4 years, 2015 to 18.
That's correct. Kevin Cooey is a master of Time Crisis mode.
You get used to it, though, and we played. It's amazing when you do have to rush and you don't have to think too much. Generally, it can go either way.
Yeah.
You can rush things if you're really rushed, but one time he came out with so little time on the clock, he came out with an in-turn and ended up throwing an out-turn hit. Didn't quite make it. It was like a little thin board weight in off, and it was unbelievable. And this is as good of a force setup as you're going to probably see. Totally spread out, and maybe you want to think about freezing on the middle one or something.
Yeah, there's no doubles here at all. And there's really no even like in-house come-arounds either. So, yeah, not ideal here for Team Ha. Wheels have come off a little bit after that great first end.
There's still a lot of talk going on.
Yeah, they've taken almost a minute for this call where there's really no
Nothing
point.
Good.
No point. And is maybe this partly being a young team too, Brent, maybe? Just still trying to figure things out in the women's game?
Sure, yeah. A little bit of inexperience and uncertainty, and that all comes into it. And just some players are more methodical. Like, I know I'm poking fun at Kevin Cooey, but he's just a methodical guy. Wanted to make sure he didn't miss anything. One of the best strategists I've ever seen. It's not like he was concerned that he didn't know what he was doing ever. It's just his style of play. And then I played with Wayne Madaw, who if it doesn't happen quick, he's going to leave. Like, he's not going to stay on the ice. Like, Glenn had to literally think of the ice before he put the broom down, because once the broom touches the ice, you can't adjust it because he's already at the tee line.
Right.
So, and it's just, that's personality, right? You talk to Kevin, and he's a pretty laid-back guy, and you talk to Wayne, and not that he's hyper or anything, but he likes to get things done.
He likes to get the job done.
He just wanted to find out as fast as possible who's going to win. Another good shot there. But now here's something to freeze to. Maybe we take a chance at this freeze, I think, John.
I would imagine you would. There's not really a risk. It's like kind of a perfect freeze scenario because you're not really in danger of giving up a steal if you miss it.
And here it comes.
So.
Just want to keep this right on the nose. Dead frozen would be ideal. It would be hard to get it out, and hard to imagine that there could be a deuce here, but if a really, really good freeze is made, you never know.
Well, and we have seen misses from both sides, so certainly not out of the question that sets up a 2 as well, but this looks like Hirin may have pulled the string here. Yeah, neither team really able to get super confident with draw weight yet.
It's the line there by a little bit too, you know, half a rock or something, but does get shot, so Stefani's going to have to deal with it, and probably, wants to stay in the 4-foot if possible, because then the freeze will kind of be gone. Even if you nose this and killed your back one, I think you're in pretty good shape.
Well, on the sheet right in front of us, we just saw Rachel Homan come heavy on a draw for 2, and you don't see that too often either, Brent. So I just wonder if this ice is just fooling all the teams out here.
believe this is everybody's first game.
It is, yep.
You see way more misses in the first game because there are more question marks about the ice.
Well, and especially when you're playing the fourth game of the day, it is the night game. Your practice would have been yesterday night. So you're talking about a full 24 hours. The ice could change quite a bit. Like we said, 3 draws have been played on here before now. So, yeah, those are all factors, no question about it, as we are going to see the freeze attempt here once again for Sung-Yoon Ha.
So has a better idea now, having just watched it come down, got a time on it for sure. The sweepers got to see it. They'll get to talk to each other and say, this is how we need to make this shot. Here's the speed. Looks like a little bit more ice. And if nothing else, if she even gets a half-ass freeze here and it gets blasted out of there, she'll at least have the same draw, just to the 8 foot for 1, just full 12 even.
First own, Sung-Yoon Ha.
Triple threat sweep coming again.
They love this. The Triforce. This is well short again. You'd love for it to be shot rock, so Stefania has to deal with it, and it does get there.
So Stefania just make this one go away. There's nothing really you can do to put any extra pressure on here. So same kind of thing she just threw.
Yeah, and in this scenario, you're obviously even less worried about rolling out. You're going to be forcing no matter what.
So this one's on a better line. You can't, the yellow one, I mean, you can't nose it obviously, but she's throwing this a lot quieter than I would probably think of throwing it.
Yeah, it looked like she wanted to roll to that spot. Flirted with that red one, but it seemed like that was the plan.
Remember I said you couldn't make it any harder? Stefania says, hey, you're an idiot up there.
Yep.
Watch this. That's perfect. Change the turns, make her have to draw no nose hit for 1, and this has become uncomfortable. There is backing. But a tricky shot here against a whole bunch of red counters.
Yeah, certainly. So she gave up 4 last end and is now drawing against 4. Sung-Yoon Ha needs a good piece of the forefoot to put 1 on the board.
So as I said, made her switch turns, which, you know, doesn't always matter, but it's a little bit of uncertainty.
Yang and Kim leaning on this one. This looks like it might be short. They're trying to drag it. They're trying to drag it. Can they get it there? Can they get it there? Can they get it there? Yes, they can. What a sweep from Tae Yang, and Soo-Jin Kim draws applause from this St. John's crowd. We've got a tie game.
When you've conquered another game, a long day, a job well done, and the final work call, we're your place. Come as you are and fit in comfortably. Mr. Mike's. Eat locally, enjoy casual.
Well, we hate to say it, but the action did slow down just slightly in the third end, although Sung Yoon Ha did have to make a pressure-packed draw against 4. She does make it. It's our first non-crooked number on the board, but now we are all tied up at 4, and Stefania Constantini has the hammer. And a reminder that all the other games happening right now inside the Mary Brown Center also available to be streamed on Home Team Live. As I said earlier, Rachel Homan did miss that open draw for 2 and settled for 1, so she is currently tied 2-2 with Chelsea Carey. Chelsea Carey has the hammer. They're playing 4. Christina Black making her Grand Slam debut here at the Coyote National after winning the Tier 2 Tour Challenge is down 3-1 to the Tier 1 Tour Challenge champion, Carrie Anerson. And over on the sheet farthest away from us, it's Isabella Vrono up against Eunjung Kim, and she is currently tied 2-2 in that game as well. Kim has hammer playing 4.
Nothing but tight battles here tonight. Had a couple of blowouts this afternoon in the men's draw.
Yeah, was it every winner scored 7?
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
I left after our game was over, but Brad Gushu gave the fans exactly what they want, but then gave them too much of it. Because they only got
early,
to see it for 5 ends. And an uncharacteristic, not a meltdown by Team Medine versus Jacobs, but just an interesting and strange kind of 2 ends in a row there.
Yeah, I was saying this to someone yesterday. I just felt like Mark Miskadovitz just put in a really tough position. Your first slam, you're just coming off of your first major title, the European Championship for Germany, Germany's first international championship in 20 years. Then you got to fly across the pond, deal with the jet lag, and your first game is a home game against Team Guju, who hasn't had a home game in St. John's in 7 years. Good luck.
That pretty much sums it up.
Yeah,
that's
tough scenario.
Kind of how it went.
Yeah. So this was looking a little bit more like a traditional setup for an end, which we haven't really seen yet, but Angela Romay a little short there, and now this is a good chance for the South Koreans to apply some pressure.
Like you said, John, both teams still really looking to dial in that draw weight. Could draw this one right to the button, be too buried behind staggered centers, and Stefania will be running up to peel those guards off, I would think. Team Ha doing a lot of sweeping.
Yeah, this has been, they've either pulled the string or they've been 6 feet heavy. But I think that's in a pretty good spot.
Not bad at all. Double peel, so yellow one, broom side, across the face, across the top of the red one. Get that red one coming back. Could get 3 moving here and give Italy some breathing room here. There you go. Get that one out of there, and the red one even stays. Does it go behind the corner guard? Like, how good is that?
Very, very good from Elena Mathis, looking comfortable in this second position. That's a couple ends in a row with a stellar shot. It is still Ha lying 1, but yeah, really good from Elena.
See better part, probably almost 3/4 of this by the guard, but anything not allowing Team Ha to guard something in the middle right now. I mean, even if you score 1 here, if you're Team Constantini, it's not too bad going into the break after a disastrous first end and then a big recovery. And again, maybe steady the ship a little bit. Maybe we're not going to get to 14-12.
It is possible we may not, yes. Elena Mathis, an interesting story, actually competed for Switzerland at the junior level, was a 3-time Swiss junior champion, and then came over to play for Italy on the women's side of the game. We don't see that too often in curling. You see that a lot more often in soccer, where people have multiple passports and choose to represent different countries at the junior and senior levels. typically once you represent a team at the senior level, it's very hard to represent another country, but the junior and senior, they allow you one free switch, and Elena took advantage.
Sounds like a similar but opposite story. Wasn't Claudio Pescia was Italian and ended up playing for Switzerland with Ralph Stockley for a bunch of years, and he was the head of the Italian program for a while too. I also think he was the world's most interesting man if you ever got to talk to him. Super nice
I can't
guy.
say I ever have, but I'm familiar, or I've heard of his status.
Now it might be Joel though. He seems like he has a similar story.
True.
Does Joel live in Switzerland and play in Italy? Like he lives in a border town, or
He lives in Italy, I believe, but yeah, that comes up short. So unfortunately for Elena, can't follow up that first great shot. Hall eyes too.
Joel only
but yes,
speaks
I do
4 or 5 languages.
Five.
That's
yeah.
it.
Just only 5. Yeah.
Yeah. You?
One. Well, I'll say 2, but it's half of 2 other languages.
Frenglish?
English, semi-fluent in French, semi-fluent in sign language.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. My brother-in-law is deaf, so I've taken some classes, and I'm decent, but I'm slow.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well,
what about you? Just the one?
I barely speak English.
Yeah. One's a struggle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, Team Ha taking quite a bit of time here, and I don't know that there's a lot to talk about, really.
I don't see that being the place for it. I mean, could now throw a bit of a tight guard, but I guess there's a double maybe, but I don't know. Going around the corner here is fine. They're worried about the freeze. But they're nowhere near making a call here yet. And have burnt that timeout, let's not forget. So
Yep. They're now down to officially below half the time they were granted to start the game, and usually you do that in reverse. You try to save up time for the second half of the game.
Trying to throw this top 12, I think. Worried about the freeze around the corner guard that Team Italy just tried and came up well short. Just don't want this to be short of the rings. Needs to be in the rings because otherwise you'll leave them a straight come around. So could have maybe thrown a tight guard. It is on part of the button on the center one. So maybe a chance here now. Bounces off and could nose a hair roll under, and second shot kind of frozen. And could be a little bit of trouble here if Julia can make this one. It's got a long way to curl though.
Looks heavy.
This looked to me like a backline shot, and
Yeah, I think it was maybe a little more weight than they were expecting, so they don't get the roll on top from Giulia Zardini, and again, a chance for Team Ha to lie 3.
right in front of us here, Team Carey in all kinds of trouble here.
Oh yeah, that's a lot of lemons.
Has last rock though, so it needs to bail her team out. Need to hold this one. This one's really curling.
Yeah, you cannot jam this. Hirin Kim. Oh no.
Oh boy.
Oh no. That is trouble. Ever since the first end, Hirin Kim made that phenomenal draw in the first end to set up that steal of 3, but has really struggled since. And that's a dire miss.
Split in the rings or freeze. Those are the two options. I don't think either one's kind of wrong. My first thought was to throw the freeze in there, but if you bounce it all, you might leave a double. So draw the G-sock on the other side, just behind the tee line. Needs to be pretty accurate here. That's why I kind of like the freeze. A little bit more room for error. So a bunch of draws missed heavy here in the second end, so Needs to slow down here. Needs to stay full 8 foot and then a little bit. I don't think it's going to.
Oh, boy. So a huge miss from Hirin Kim, but unfortunately for Zardini Laciadelli, unable to capitalize. And once again, it's Ha with a chance to really get a force set up here, Brent.
Pretty difficult to hit and roll here and not leave some kind of double. The nose would leave an immiscible double. So trying to roll right over to the other red and spread out those yellows as best they can. So want to throw a little bit of speed here if you want to make this good, and that's not ice to throw speed. So looks like maybe board weight, hit half rock, roll across the center line, and leave Stefania with a long double to lie to potentially. Don't want to nose this. I mean, not that you'd rather roll out, but would leave a really, really easy double. Actually rolled in a little bit, but left a pretty easy double.
Yeah, I guess the concern here for Stefania would be rolling up and out. Just have to be careful not to do that, I guess.
Can see a good angle here, so it's looking straight on from the hack. You just got to feather that one. So even if you played the straight nose and just let it curl that quarter inch at the end and tick it, but you're right, it's going to be a difficult one that if you hit any more than an inch of the first one, it's going to be spinning like crazy. Could freeze over there, I guess, but this looks like the right call.
So first rock, Stefania Constantini trying to find her way to a 2-point lead here.
Can they make the perfect line call?
They get both. Now will this stay for second? It does. Actually stays for first shot, but it does set up a double here.
Just over curled a little bit there, a little thinner on the first one, and it would have spun less, but good weight choice and well thrown and lying too anyway. Lining it up across the top? What's she looking at there?
I don't know. I guess they figure they're getting the force over the top too, because that yellow is dead buried, but like, I guess they're nervous that if they play it straight back and you miss it, you might jam it and give up a possible 3.
Could just be looking at the audible call.
Yes,
he has the ice in the middle of the rocks. So playing this just on the nose, a hair high.
So final stone, Sung-Yun Ha. And very nice. So that is made, and Stefania Constantini will have to draw for her single point. That end was a roller coaster, I feel like.
It was a little bit of trading back and forth, and I almost wanted to say it's an early Christmas party here, gifts for everybody.
Yeah.
But, yeah, pretty typical first game here with some sloppy misses, some good shots. And the time clock watch continues, though. 14-17 for Team Ha. So 4 ends left. That's under. It's more than 3 minutes an end, 3.5 minutes an end. So it's still fine. I really think we should tighten up the clock. If this isn't, if they haven't been slow this game, then it's really hard to run out of time. And not to take anything away, they probably know that. They've played in a bunch of slams now, or a couple anyway.
Final stone, Stefania Constantini needs full 8 foot for her single.
same draw she threw in the second end for 4. Little trickier, no backing, but it is only to the 8 foot, so let's see if she can find the range.
Seems like they like it out of the hand. And the sweepers just gently guide that into the rings, and it will be a score of 1 for Stefania Constantini. They will take a 5-4 lead into the 4th end break. We'll see you back here in 3 minutes.
This is the Cornwall Curling Club. It's my home club. I started curling here when I was 7 years old. I decided to stick with curling because I really enjoyed the small team environment. I curled with the same girls from the time I was 9, basically until the end of juniors. So getting to form those friendships with my teammates was really special to me.
I started curling because of my grandparents, and both my parents curled and my brother, so it was just like a whole family thing. And when you walk into the curling club in Truro, Nova Scotia, and everyone greets you, and it's such a warm environment, and it's fun. After school, we'd go, and all of our friends would be there, so it was just like such a fun environment. And I got to curl with some of my closest friends growing up, so it really helped me keep in the game, and we all had the same goals.
I know what curling has done for our family, the opportunities it provided for both my girls. Nationally, you know, we've got to see travel the world. It's just a great sport. It's a small community. People, you know, at all levels, everybody knows each other. That's what, it's kind of a unique sport that way.
It's a sport that enables him to build his confidence and to make friends while doing something that he really enjoys.
Right now, at the age that they're at, it's just awesome to see when they come here and they see their friends at the curling club and the stuff they do off the ice too, and smiles and hanging out and just enjoying their time with friends.
Hello, curling fans, and welcome back inside the Mary Brown Center here in St. John's, Newfoundland and Labrador for this opening draw for the women, Sung Yoon Ha versus Stefania Constantini. John Cullen alongside Brent Lang on the call. And Brent, it's been a wild ride so far, a steal of 3, then a score of 4. It's slowed down a little bit, but still 5-4 after the first half of the game. And what are your thoughts so far? You kind of talked a little bit about maybe opening draw jitters for both teams.
Yeah, it could be a little of that. Big crowd could be, I think probably mostly it's just a little bit of uncertainty about the ice, learning as they go here. First draw, you know, probably both teams practiced last night, but so often, I talked about this earlier today, the practice ice you get is completely different than the game ice. And so could be a number of things, but yeah, I think both teams would be the first to confirm that it hasn't been their best stuff just yet, but that's really Neither here nor there now. You know, Team Constantini's up 1, but Team Ha has the hammer play in the 5th. We've got a close game, and whoever finds draw weight here is going to win this game. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that, because both teams have struggled a little bit.
Yeah, I think you're right. I would say both teams have made good draws at times, but it's been a bit of a struggle with the consistency. And yeah, there's no question that if one team can nail it down, it will be a huge advantage. That's a very nice draw there from Angela Romay. Just a reminder that the Grand Slam of Curling is a major project partner of the Curling Cares calendar, the 2025 edition. There are 3 curlers out here this week who are in the calendar. Carly Burgess playing for Team Carey, Selena Negevin playing for Team Laws, and Eve Muirhead, who's actually going to be here on the weekend and is making her 4th appearance in the calendar this year. The project has raised over $850,000 for charities close to curlers' hearts. You can get yours today. Head on over to curlingcares.com. They ever let you post for that thing or what?
You crazy? They're trying to sell calendars.
That should be a sticker on the front every year. And once again, no Brent Lang.
Yeah, I think the only guy I played with was Saville did it the one year.
Yeah, I remember that.
And he was disappointed because one of our sponsored X-nayed the real picture he wanted in there. So he ended up carrying a canoe. I don't know if you've ever seen the
I saw the photo.
The real one, though, was way better. He was jumping buck naked into the lake, and his hand was just perfectly placed in midair just to cover his junk. But they wouldn't let that
little too racy,
I guess. I don't know. This was years ago, but one thing it did, for some reason, coincidentally, Craig got in the best shape of his life that off-season. I don't know if that was coincidence or...
Yeah. It's a good way to get motivated. Never mind, trying to win world championships, qualify for the Olympics. Just want to look hot for the curling calendar.
Right. Stop eating. I don't think that's healthy necessarily, but yeah, no, I don't even think I've ever been asked. I don't think I would have ever. Definitely not saying yes now. I mean, but I don't think I've ever been asked. Jen has been, I'm sure, asked a few times, but not really her style. We're happy to raise money for great causes. Maybe in other ways. Another messy start here. Rocks everywhere.
Rocks are everywhere, baby. Every end. We love it.
So Team Ha on cleanup duty here. Ooh, sneaky good. Pretty good. I think that yellow one's mostly buried, but half buried or so. But most importantly, even if the Italians are able to hit and stay, they'll roll away from the guard, and that will open up the come around. I would think that would be the next shot that Team Ha chooses, but who knows? This is getting tight, John.
Do not want to rack here.
Especially that softly.
Yeah, it doesn't really move the rock much.
So open side, or you come in and get to the nose, tap that to the forefoot. That's my preference. Harder shot, but better result. Chance for multiples here now.
Yeah, I guess you would prefer this to drawing open side just because a draw to the open side might open up a hit and roll for Constantini. Is that your thought?
Yeah, I think so. A hit and roll, or, they could chase the middle one now. They did move it a little bit. If they ever nosed that one, that wouldn't be great. And also, open side, there's still enough rocks left that even if it's nosed a couple times, eventually there's going to be a roll behind the middle that can take the end away. So, and if you get to the nose or even a little low, there's going to be no easy hits. Needs to get to the nose, however. Getting close.
Yeah, do they move it far enough? That's the question. Line is really good. And Tae Yang moves it a little bit. Maybe they would have liked to move it a little further.
Almost lined it up on the back red. That would have been cheeky.
But yes, they are lying 2 here with the hammer.
Looks like there's just room by the guard for some speed to maybe nose this and make the double, but again, would have to risk hitting the guard, which is not a good option at this point in the end.
On this one, right out of the hand, too.
This might pump the other yellow in the rings.
Oh, boy. That's 2 critical misses from Mathis and now from Zardini Lacidelli. And we might see a crooked number here for Team Ha.
Thinking of guard in this one. Just be a little worried that Stefani might just decide to draw around everything. Timeout.
Oh boy.
5th end, 12 minutes left.
It's a little surprising to me. I might have been tempted to save it. Is the coach not allowed to go down and look at the house, or?
Yeah, definitely can walk down the side.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is a strange timeout. Sung Yoon Ha is not even a part of the conversation.
Not talking to the skip.
It's unorthodox.
Yeah, that's a nice way to put it. I think that's... she doesn't look overly impressed either.
Was the timeout called from the bench, perhaps?
Maybe.
And maybe Sung-Yun didn't think they needed the timeout? I can't say I've ever seen this before.
No, now they're going to tell the skip what the plan is.
Yeah, coach did not come to take a look at the house. Skip was not involved in the discussion. And now they're out of timeouts and they only have 12 minutes left with which to play 3.5 ends. Have to admit, a little bizarre.
Yeah.
So Tae Yang trying to bring this one over. They definitely want some separation here. I don't know how good that is.
It's not good. I mean, it's not terrible, but yeah, it didn't really do what they wanted it to do. Very easy double.
Yeah, I'm guessing they were looking for more separation.
I would think, yeah, and to do that, you had to throw like back line and hit a third of a rock and really spread them out. It would have been pretty good, but you're still probably going to leave a double. This needs to be made, but this is about as easy as they come.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Didn't throw a ton of weight at that.
No, Julia with another unforced error, and a little bit of like, normally, especially Julia's normally like the spark plug out there, and I don't know if maybe they're tired, the jet lag and all the curling and travel, and they just don't quite seem themselves.
Yeah, the time change from here in Finland is 5.5 hours. So you're currently looking at 1:35 a.m. in Loha. As the crowd gasps at another Rachel Homan miss, as she has not had her best evening here. But yeah, I mean, that's, you know, I think no matter how much of a night owl you are, as it's a really nice shot from Hirin Kim.
Curling at 1:35 in the morning is a bad idea.
It's not a good idea.
No.
Nothing good happens at 1:35 a.m. on a curling sheet.
No, I mean in the lounge maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
Storytelling.
So, yeah, exactly. That's for sure. So yeah, you're right. That could be certainly a factor.
A good hit and roll there, that if the guard wasn't there, the triple's awfully close, but the guard's there, so it doesn't really matter. That's some useless information for you.
Fun to think about.
Yeah. So a hit and roll, I think. That's
the call.
Really tight ice. Is that an out turn? Must be throwing some speed. Maybe the crosshouse double, that needs some serious speed.
Yeah, if that's the plan with the out turn, she's going to be launching this, I think. No, in turn.
Okay.
So yeah,
So
probably
maybe
the
still
hit
launching
and roll,
it,
but
yeah.
still launching it, yeah. Maybe hit and roll, and if you end up coming over to that other yellow one, you're fine with that too.
Yeah, she's bringing the speed.
Yeah. Angela Romay on it right out of the hand. I don't think
like
they
a
love
nose.
it. Yeah. Indeed it is, so.
Is it second shot?
That's what I was just thinking. Doesn't look like it. Looked like Sung-Yoon gesturing that it is them lying too. So not a great shot from Stefania. Means that Ha can draw around everything here, Brent.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend that, however. I would draw, but I would draw around that red one to the tee line. Then there's going to be no doubles. My concern here is this is fine, but you make a really good shot and they freeze, you're forced, you draw for two. If it over curls and is ever a little light and you leave a hit and roll behind everything, you're going to have to make this in off the red for three. If you draw right to where she's putting the ice down, I know you leave a hit and roll, but at least yours isn't going to be in the way, and I don't know.
Or do you think they're nervous, though, that Stefania just draws around everything? I mean, again, if you screw that up, you're giving up 4 potentially, so.
Yeah, maybe. That's definitely a possibility. With a 1-point lead, giving up 3 here sucks, but giving up 4 is real bad, and I think she might take on the hit and roll because she could still get out of the 3, but make sure she doesn't give up 4, but we'll never know now. So, goes without saying, this one cannot be just behind the tee line. If it is, you want it back 4, so maybe you can play an in off of your own or something.
Yeah, Sung-Yoon Ha has not had her draw weight dialed in so far. We'll see if she can find it here. This looks way light.
Line's worse than the weight.
Yeah.
This might hit the center guard.
Oh, it's hitting the center guard.
Thought it might get by and get onto the one in the house, but.
Oh boy. So there's your out, and this is actually a potential steal situation if Stefania makes this hit and roll or draw. Either is fine. She makes this good, and my goodness, just, yeah, Sung-Yoon Ha hasn't quite had that killer instinct here when she's had the opportunities.
A lot of talk about which turn to play. I mean, surely they're playing the hit and roll. They're not going to play the draw. You just got let out of jail for free. Let's not take on an unnecessary one. And hit and roll, buried, and you're right. Ha will have a difficult draw for 1 potentially. So just continuing to trade misses back and forth for the most part tonight, and due to see a really well-made shot. I'm going to say that Stefania's going to make this one.
Yeah, it's not just the trading of misses. I think it's also the trading of key misses, right? It's been misses at real inflection points in the ends that has made it so neither team has really been able to capitalize on the other's mistakes. But we'll see if your prediction holds true here. Final stone for Stefania Constantini, looking for a hit and roll.
Swept it out of her hand. Sounds close.
It sounds really close. Does it hang on? I think that's going to roll a little far. So I think there will be a shot here for 2 for Team Ha.
Oh, that was so close. I mean, it's still half buried. Just had to curl a half an inch. Not sure if that was a little heavier than Julia thought or just kind of missed the call, because they did have a bit of a wall to roll behind, but nonetheless, a shot for 2 to take the lead.
So final stone for Sung-Yoon Ha has not scored a multiple since all the way back in the first end. Looking to try to do so now. Needs a hit and stay for 2.
Trying to bring this one over, Jonathan.
Yeah, Tae Yang trying to bring it over. They indicated out of the hand it was heavy. I think they have the hit. Do they have the stay? Yes, they do. So a really good sweep there from Tae Yang. Good shot from Sung-Yoon Ha. And they regain the lead, 6-5. So a few big scores, but neither team has really been able to put their stamp on this game. Key misses at the wrong times both ways, but it is an entertaining first game for Stefania Constantini and Sung-Yoon Ha. Sung-Yoon Ha currently leading 6-5. Constantini with the hammer. And we'll see if they can put a couple points on the board. I would imagine, Brent, for Team Constantini, this end, they would love to score even if it's just one.
Yeah, I think a deuce is what they're after. They're going to throw a corner guard here, take some chances, try and score 2. If they do score 2, up 1 without the hammer playing 7, you know, you win more than you lose. Giving up a steal here would be, yeah, really bad. Tied without playing 7, you know, throw up a couple center guards, maybe get a force. At this point, you know, it's likely going to come down to that probably tied or 1 up or 1 down with or without situation. It's going to be close coming home unless, well, unless we give up another 3 or 4 steal or something, but. So a good start there, and I would hope Team Ha is going to throw up another center guard here.
I think we just got our first indication that Team Ha is aware that they are in a little bit of time crisis mode here, as Soo-Jin Kim
fast.
Basically threw that rock the second that Angela Rome's rock came to a stop. I believe they only burned 1 second off the clock. So they're at least aware of it. I think, you know, often commentators talk about the time on the clock and it never ends up being a factor, and it's a little bit of a waste of time to talk about. But I think in this case, with them not having either timeout, I think that's where I get a little worried. You know, usually if you have 1 timeout at some point in the last end, you can stop the clock if you need to, but not having that ability to stop the clock, I do think may be a problem for Team Ha. We'll obviously keep an eye on it. Stefania Constantini nowhere near time trouble, 15:50, and both timeouts still on the clock.
And you know it's going to be a tight game, so odds are things are not going to be super simple from here on out. There's going to be some decisions that need to be made. There's going to be you're going to get into some trouble probably at some point, and that's generally when you talk it out a little bit, and it's easy to burn through a minute and a half just talking it out. So this can't chip it off the center, but just Feather rubs it and stops in a pretty good spot.
Just a reminder that all 3 other games out here at the Mary Brown Center are available on Home Team Live, and of course we will have every draw streaming for you, every game, every draw, all week long. Chelsea Carey and Rachel Holman really locked in a battle here. They're tied 3-3, playing the 6th Carey with the hammer. The other Carey out here, Carey Anerson, popped a big 3-ball in the 5th end against Christina Black. They now lead 6-2. And Isabella Vrano and Unjung Kim are locked in their own battle as they are tied 3-3. They're playing the 6th Kim with the hammer.
We are back to the pool format this week, so not only does every win count towards the playoffs, your last stone draws become important if you end up at 2-2. But early to start thinking about that. Right now, it's, you know, curling can get complicated. It really comes down to
just win.
Try and draw the button when that's the contest.
Yep.
Oh.
It's...
And then try and win the game and just keep doing that. And then at the end of the week, you see if you're in the playoffs or not.
Yeah, if you're 4-0, it kind of doesn't matter a whole lot.
No.
What your LSD is. But yes, certainly we saw that in Nisku. Carey Anerson was close to being eliminated from the playoffs, needed 3 men's games to break correctly on the final draw of the round robin in order to get herself a tiebreaker, and she did. Ended up winning that tiebreaker, made the quarterfinals.
So needed the men's games to open up a sheet to play the tiebreaker?
Correct, exactly. Yeah, so that's, for those who don't know, there's 1 tiebreaker draw. 2 sheets are allocated to the women, 2 are allocated to the men. If they need both sheets each, then that's all the tiebreakers you get. But if one side of the draw only needs 1 tiebreaker, it can open up a 3rd tiebreaker sheet, which is what happened in Nisku. Carey Anerson needed 3 different results to go well for her in the last draw of the round robin to just get a tiebreaker, and they got it. So definitely does matter.
It seems overly complicated. Like, if the sun doesn't come out till 9:30 one morning, then you're kicked out. Or if you throw more out turns than in turns, like, it's so complicated when we do pools. But
it's what the curlers want.
Is it?
I think so.
What do the fans want? What do the announcers want? Well, that's where we're at now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm sure baseball players would love to not play 160 games if they didn't have to.
Right.
So.
Well, I think if you're going to start paying the curlers $20 million, play 162 games a month if you want.
Yeah, true. That's a good point.
So big trouble here. That was a good roll behind the corner guard, but you can see Team Haw going to ignore it because they are lying 2 behind the center. So it is dead buried, the one behind the corner, which is good news. That's usually good news if you want to score multiple points, but we're about to see maybe 3 opponent stones buried behind the center.
Yeah, maybe one thing working in their favor. Brent, that center guard quite high.
And it is
Constantini's favor, I mean.
Yeah, for sure. And it is Constantini's color, so could run it back. But getting back to what you said, I mean, the default plan here for Constantini is let's make sure we score.
It looks pretty good. Yeah, it's a triangle of lemons there.
Yeah, how do you deal with those? I don't see any good ways. We're going to talk about it here.
I wonder if we'll see a team timeout here. As we said, tons of time on the clock. They could easily talk about this for a couple minutes without taking a timeout. It's just whether or not they want to consult with Coach Soren Gran.
So there is a tick double. Hit that one thin, kill the side one. That will jam. They'll draw around again. It's not the best, but the best is the long run back on the nose. Kill 2 yellows and stay on top of it, but that's also the hardest by a mile. Wouldn't know. Normally we'd listen in, but yeah, my Italian is
about as good as your Korean.
Oh yeah, worse actually. Actually better than my Korean, I gotta think.
Yeah, if you took any French, then you got maybe
You have
a
a
chance
chance.
at guessing some Italian words. Yeah.
Looks like ice to run back the center guard. I know that's not one you want to play, but I think it's probably one you got to take on here.
Yeah, or maybe they're just trying to skinny off the top yellow, get all three of them moving.
Yeah, I think they've got ice right in the center of the middle one, which is dead buried. So
yeah, no, I think you're right.
That angle looks like an out turn run back. Really, with a bit of a struggle tonight, can really go a long way and spark for her team if she can make this one. It's close.
Very nice.
Very good.
Very nice. Gets rid of 2 yellows and sticks the shooter around. And just like that, Team Constantini lying 2 and 3.
It's curling for you. You know, you're struggling to draw the 8-foot, but you make an 18-foot run stick.
Yeah.
Where you had to hit it within probably an 1/8 of an inch, maybe even a 16th to make it happen. And
as the kids would say, it do be like that sometimes.
All right, kids.
I don't know. They were saying that when I taught last, but that was a couple of years ago, so I'm probably in trouble.
Picking this one up right out of the hand, trying to roll right into the yellow, roll back buried. Nose might leave a double, but it probably jams. No second shot there. Yellow is second, so that's big because the intern chase is available. I think you want to try and get to the nose of that one, Stefania, best you can. And then if they nose, there might be a thicker double off that shooter that just stopped there. Hit and stay. If it comes up to the nose, I think you'd like it. If it rolls to a broom, I think that's not too bad. Maybe that sets up a flat double in your next one too. Saying she's a little light.
Elena Mathis trying to bring this one over.
Has to stick around.
Ooh, unfortunately, yeah, that yellow just stops to be third shot.
No advantage continues to be Team Ha here. We'll talk about it again. Important to figure out where you want this one. I think you want it right to the top of the button. You know, full 4. You don't want it right beside it where they can play off the side one. And because if it is right beside it, there might be a triple, like a 2/3 low centerline side on that top 8 one. It might clip the back one and punch this one. Only has to get it out of the 8-foot. I think even if you go behind the button here, it's not super bad. But top button, dead buried would be ideal, I think. Pretty good.
That's really good. Yep. Pretty much exactly where you want it if you're Sung Yoon Ha.
Stefania figuring out the chase here. Wants to kill this and stay for shot. Make Team Ha deal with it so that if nothing else, she has a pretty open draw to the 8-foot for 1. She'd be happy with that at this point.
Yeah, hotline 2 here. And as we said to start the end, if you score 1 here for Constantini, not the end of the world. Would love to, but gonna need a skips deuce here probably to make that happen.
Yeah, I don't see any real way to make it happen, and oh boy. Don't need to give Rachel Holman any freebies.
Yeah, Chelsea Carey trying to draw the 8-foot there and came up short of the rings. She's given up at least 2 to Rachel, might be more. That's in the 6th.
I think it might be 4. So Stefania, remove this and stay for shot. Really anywhere is a good shot. Ooh,
yeah.
I'm gonna change my mind. Now they knows that. I didn't think she could stay that close, and it is a steal of 4 for Team Holman. Takes a 7-3 lead after 6. And
yeah, it was not an easy port for Chelsea. She was drawing across the center line, and it looked like it just slowed down taking that path. And yeah, steal of 4 for Rachel Holman. So they lead 7-3. A similar disaster for Isabella Vrano on sheet A, as she had a hit and stick to force Eunjung Kim to 1, ended up running the stone she was trying to hit out of the rings into her own and gave Kim an open hit for 3, which Kim took advantage of. And so Kim leads that one 6-3, and Christina Black only managing 1 in the 6th in their game, leading 6-3. So seems like 3 games that maybe getting closer to being settled than our game is. Big shot here for Sung Yoon Ha again. Final stone. Trying to set up a force. Oh, this is curling. Oh my goodness, this is really curling. Oh my gosh. That was the worst possible scenario for that, as she hits her guard. And that opens up the yellow stone for Stefania Constantini, and there's a double for 4 here.
that guard was not overly in play.
No, it was not. That was wide open, accessible for Sung Yoon Ha. I mean, just a hit for Stefania gets you 3, but if you somehow make this double, it's a 4. What a turn of events. All these sheets, the 6th end, seems like it's cursed or something. I don't know. Chelsea Carey missing a huge shot. Vrano missing a huge shot, and now Ha doing the same.
So you want to pick the right weight here. It's fully open. The nose might not get you 3rd shot, but I think it does. But the concern here is if you do jam it right on the yellow, you don't want to throw it so hard that you're going to roll over and spin out of the 8-foot. This is probably like a control weight double. As long as you don't hit it like an inch of it, you're going to almost always score 2. Most of the time you're going to get 3, and every now and again you're going to get 4 if you call the line perfectly.
Yeah, certainly worth teeing up the line on this one and making sure you feel really comfortable with where the broom is. As a 4 here would give you a commanding 3-point lead heading into 7. Would be Stefania's 2nd 4 of the game. You don't see that too often at the slam level.
Shouldn't lose very often if you score 2 4s.
No, generally not, no. And most Canadians will tell you you don't very often lose with a 2-4.
Also true.
Yeah.
But you end up in the lounge at 1:30.
That's very true, yes. So final stone, Stefania Constantini. Control weight double to score a multiple. It's just how many.
She's throwing this pretty hard.
Yeah.
Got to be careful here. If this jams on the yellow, I think she's going to get 1. Never mind.
Oh, just drives it by, but will settle, quote unquote, for 3. Huge score for Stefania Constantini. She'll take an 8-6 lead. We'll be right back.
When it comes to the game we love, Having the right gear makes all the difference.
Gold Line's new curling shoes and brooms are a game changer.
The shoes, unbelievably comfortable.
And the brooms, lightweight and effective, giving you control on every sweep.
When I step onto the ice, I'm not just prepared, I look sharp.
Have you seen these shoes? They are a game changer.
And the brooms, light as a feather.
It's a Gold Line.
It's a Gold Line.
It's a Gold Line.
And is the choice of champions.
As we said, the story of this game so far has been missed at the wrong time, and perhaps not more critical than that Sung Yoon Ha miss. And Brent, we were talking about it at a break. It's just very puzzling miss. That guard wasn't really in play. You really just had to get rid of the Stefania Constantini stone. Your rock was buried. You were always forcing, even if your shooter rolled out. I just not sure what happened there.
Yeah, hard to say. I mean, that's maybe trying to make it too perfect, or just bad throw at the wrong time. Like you said, it was quite early. It was but anything could happen.
In this game, certainly, yeah, we've had 4 multiple scores. One was 4, 2, or 3 is the highest scoring game. Like you said earlier, we had the over if you were betting on this somewhere, but yeah, it's certainly not over. There's no doubt about that. And even a 2-year for Kim Ha gets them right back in it.
You'd like thinking 9 points will win this game. And I've got to say, I hate to say for sure, but I think 10 for sure wins the game.
Gets it, yeah.
9, probably. Like
the only way I see 10 is if Ha scores 4 here.
Yeah,
because then Constantini gets 2 and 8, and then 11's a winner.
It's going to be, 11's going to be required. So
that's the only way that I think you're right. I think if Constantini makes it 10 here, it's all over.
A lot of times,
bingo.
You think if you get to 6 in an 8-end game, you've got a really good chance of winning.
Yep. Usually.
Yeah.
And Sung Yoon Ha was in a great chance to do just that. If she had made her last shot, forces Stefania to 1. They're 6-6. She's got Hammer playing 7. She's probably feeling decent.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, it's been up and down. There's no doubt about that. And this is a pretty good setup for the Italians here. Not bad for the Koreans either.
Yeah.
2 corners up.
Call those 4 makes.
Yep.
All usable. Close to where they wanted them. And drawing another one in there. Could guard, but I think this is a good call. Try and freeze it right on the nose by the looks of it.
Very nice. From Elena Mathis.
And the whole purpose of throwing them in the middle is doing exactly what it might do right now. Maybe getting Team Ha to ignore those corner guards, but nope, she's not falling for it.
Yeah, I like it. I like the aggression. Don't get too nervous about the rocks that are accumulating in the middle.
Need to get some yellow ones in there, at least one yellow one in there that can't be removed. As simple as that sounds, that's the best way to set up a deuce. Oh, we're getting in there. We're mixed doubling it, sweeping our own.
Oh, yeah. Like that, too.
Worked.
I remember the Chinese team was really the first to start doing that on the men's side they would get in and sweep their own stones, and you're always like, oh, okay, that's interesting, but it worked.
Worked there.
It worked for sure, yeah.
Got her in there and dead buried. Could throw the guard here, up 2 points though. If that red one was in front of if the top 12 was in front of the other two, you'd throw the guard, but gotta run this back, gotta be a little careful. Oh, sneaky.
Right over the top of the Reds, really good.
Well, that was not on purpose.
No, but we'll take it.
A good result. Trying to hit that onto the other side so that the jam wasn't possible. Forcing Team Ha to throw the intern come around now. Looks pretty good again.
Yeah, very nice draw.
Now, Stefan, you might want to consider slashing the red one in. They're going to, or you just peel it. You can't run this one back, I don't think, again. I think you got lucky on the first one. Let's not tempt fate.
Be a little dangerous for sure. There's a lot of ways it could go wrong. Calling for curl right out of the hand. Uh-oh. Oh, boy.
Now I get another one in there, and this is how threes happen.
Yeah, it's been a tough night for Julia. Hasn't been her best work often, and that was another miss there. Just unfortunate to not only flash the peel, but remove their own. And as you said, Brent, this does set up the potential of a three. I mean, I guess we both had to figure with how this game has gone so far, there was probably a little more drama in it. But shots do still need to be made here. This is a big one for Hee-Rin Kim.
Got to get it by this guard, and I don't know.
Oh, that
was tight.
Yeah, that was tight to come off of it there, but that's perfect from Hee-Rin.
Okay, do you ever just say...
Guard it up?
Yeah. A run back, I guess. You could make the peel. They do something in the middle. There's a very makeable double. That's probably the responsible thing to do.
Okay,
Timeout.
so
Soren.
here we go.
Coach Soren, what do we do here?
Yeah, so is Soren going to stand down at the opposite end hack and not speak to Stefania at all, or?
Don't think so.
No?
No, I don't think
Oh, he's already starting the walk down,
Yeah.
so. Well, I would imagine Soren will be speaking English to them, so we'll be able to listen into their timeout here.
Let's hope so. Ooh. Speak up, Soren. Come on.
Like for me, the options are or guard, or here, or peel double, because I think Julie has 1/4. But do you like to try it and we can peel plan B?
That doesn't look like she can see any of that, does it?
She's saying she can see a quarter. From our camera angle, it
She's an
certainly doesn't
optimist.
look like it.
But do you like trying the double and
Seems like Soren favors the straight peel.
That's what I thought I heard as well.
Because he thinks eventually they'll have to make a play on those two reds.
Timeout's over, though, so somebody needs to get him out of there.
Where's Pierre when you need him?
Adesso ti dico.
I think you play the peel, and then they're going to hit in the middle, probably double. But if they hit and kind of jam it and stay in front, then this easy double isn't going to be that easy. And we got handshakes in front of us here, Johnny.
Yeah, Chelsea Carey trying for a double for two. I don't know that it was there. It was quite flat. ended up rolling underneath. Rachel Homan steals another, and that's an 8-3 final for, quite frankly, a game that Rachel Homan was not dominating in her usual fashion, but that steal of 4 in 6 seals it up, and the crowd at the Mary Brown Center saluting the reigning women's world champions. So that'll move Homan to 1-0, and Chelsea Carey will fall to 0-1. We'll see both of them in action again tomorrow.
So Team High, hopefully they were paying attention. One of the options Stefania did consider was a guard, and they're going to guard this right now, getting late in the end. Okay, they changed their mind, so I think it's hard to guard this. I think Stefania would just say, you know what, I'm not peeling it again and giving you an easy 2 and maybe 3. I'm going to make you earn it, and needs to be made here. Pretty simple nose double, but needs to be made.
And indeed it is, and that's a really nice roll from Kieran Kim as well, although maybe it set up the triple. It's hard to tell from this angle.
Potentially, but I think I don't know which way is easier, because it's angled to hit it on the high side, the outside, the wide side, and scream it across the house, but it's going to go very close to that one. So will that absorb enough to keep it in the rings? I think the triple might be there, but if it's pretty easy to hit it too thick, jam it, and roll across the top.
So that applause you hear is because we do have another final. Carrie Anerson putting up 5 in the 7th end. Makes them 11-3 winners over Christina Black. Again, Team Black in this competition by virtue of winning the Tier 2 Tour Challenge. So they'll be in tough all week. They're ranked in the high 20s in the world, easily the lowest ranked team in the field, but some good experience for them getting to play close to home. They make their home in Halifax, Nova Scotia. But it is 11-3, Carrie Anerson winning.
So she's taking on the triple here, John.
Why not? I say go for it.
So you call this one just to try and make the long double, and the top double will kind of happen. It did just see Julia throw here twice, and it's pretty straight.
Yeah, Lena Mathis trying to bring it over. Oh, no.
None of the yellows went out, eh?
That's what I'm seeing. I am close to legally blind, but I am wearing my glasses, so it does still appear that there are 3 lemons in the house, and that is just, you called it, Brent, maybe a straight spot there. I'm not sure, but that is just a disaster. And any time in this game so far we've seen a chance for a team to really put their stamp on an end, they seem to be unable to do it.
Yeah, very friendly, getting close to Christmas, early presents back and forth a little bit, but that's an unforced error. They saw that spot twice. Julia threw there twice. She flashed it wide, and then on her last one, I think they were chasing the buried one because they called to curl late and just barely ticked the guard. So got 2 good looks at it, and then didn't seem like they hated that one, and that needed to curl quite a bit. Probably 4 or 5 inches.
Well, we said that a way in which this could be a problem, or in which 10 would not win this game, is if Sun Yun Ha scores 4. And guess what? If this is where she wants it, she'll be lying 4 with only 2 rocks to come.
Be a fairly makeable double on these, the 2 and the side 12-foot there.
All right. So they are indeed lying 4.
Only one real easy double.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's in a pretty good spot, I think.
Yeah.
Are you saying here, Brent, you just try to make the easy-ish double and give them 3 and hope to get 2 in the last?
I don't see any other shots. So the wide 2 are close together. You could actually, if you just miss ticking the wide one, like the same kind of throw, just sweep it by, you make the double off the inside one. It only has to go a rock or so. The rest of the doubles are hard. Like, I just don't see anything good. I guess you could do what Stefani's saying, play the perfect hit and roll in front. Yeah, I don't know. I like trying this wide double. It's really difficult to stick, but she's looking at it on the wide side. I don't like making it that way. That's hard. I'm not sure what she decided on here.
I hope it's something that involves removing several stones. I'm guessing it's the slash.
She's got the broom just a hair outside center of the rock, so that to me looks like ice to nose it. That wouldn't be good.
No,
Trying to
she
hit
did
it
talk
broom.
about trying to roll like towards the one in the middle, but yeah, I don't know. Interesting for sure. We'll see. Final stone for Stefania Constantini. Needs to get rid of a couple here.
Sounds made, like yes, no, yes, no.
Yeah, so it was the slash, but that's not going to be thrown hard enough.
That's just such a hard double.
Yeah, and again, not a ton of urgency in the sweep call either. And what do you say? Open draw for 4. This game is
wild.
It's had everything.
Every time somebody gets 3, though, the other team answers with 4. That much I know.
That has been the pattern so far, that's for sure. So final stone for Seung-Yoon Ha. Miraculously just needs to hit the 12-foot to score 4 and take a 2-point lead.
We're going extra end here tonight for sure, right?
A 10-10 extra?
Doesn't look heavy, but just needs to bite the paint. I wouldn't stop sweeping, though.
No, they've been a little casual with it, but I guess they can afford to be, as that's into the 8-foot with ease. And Seung-Yoon Ha will score the second 4 of this game and take a 10-8 lead. You do not want to go anywhere.
When you've conquered another game, a long day, a job well done, and the final work call, we're your place. Come as you are and fit in comfortably. Mr. Mice, eat locally, enjoy casual.
Well, kind of feels like we're in an episode of Whose Line Is It Anyway, where the rules are made up and the points don't matter. It's 10-8 for Seung-Yoon Ha against Stefania Constantini. Opening draw for these two teams. Always love to get your first win in a round robin, but I think, Bren, either team, whoever wins this game is going to feel a little confused after.
Well, I feel like they've both now won it twice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like in the first 10, you steal 3, you think you're going to win the game. Then second, you get 4 back, you're figuring, oh, that's all us. And then you get down, get up 2 playing, or up 1 playing 7. And you think, I got a good chance of winning, and give up 4, or up 2 playing 7.
Up
so
2
I can't even do the math when it gets this high.
It is some really fun stuff out here. It's you know, we do love to see a back and forth game. I think it's just unfortunate for both these teams. It hasn't really been amazing made shots to put these big scores on the board. It's been more about misses, which I think that's the unfortunate part about this game. You know, I think we would love to see it be more of, oh, they make a huge and impossible shot for 4 rather than, oh, the opposition misses one that they probably should have made and you just have to draw the paint for 4. But in any case, here we are. So for Stefania Constantini, I will say, you know, they keep a pretty even keel. And they don't seem too bothered by the fact that they're down 10-8. But I guess we'll see. We'll see what happens here. Yeah. I do think maybe jet lag a factor as well.
Could be lots of curling lately, lots of travel and first game. And yeah, and I do, you know, I like that they don't get excited on the line calls, but I can't tell if...
Right.
Like, again, it sounded, you know, so often it sounds like a perfect make, and it's just not quite. But I think a lot of times some teams get overly amped on the line calls, and the communication kind of falls apart because you can't hear because of all of the craziness going on. But anyway, you got 2 corner guards up and the 5 rock rule, so there'll be a chance for 2 here. I mean, could be a chance for 3. 11, a 3 to end this would kind of be fitting.
Yeah, yeah. To get to 11-10 with no extra end, I agree, would be befitting this game. But we'll see if Sung Yun Ha can put it all together. Certainly when you're up 2, you're in a pretty good spot.
And like I said, it feels like we deserve one more end of this after this end. I'm not sure what we did to deserve it, but... Here we go. So Elena with the come around the corner guard. Get this buried. It'd be great if it was above the tee line. And then if you're Team Ha, do you ever say, you know what, we're free rolling anyway. We've lost this game a couple of times. Maybe we just keep drawing around
just
the middle.
Stuffing it. Well, I mean, this is the exact setup we saw last end where Sung Yun Ha scored 4 off of basically this exact house. So we'll see if...
I know it's way too early to even say this, but I kind of like that. The way the game's going.
I love it, especially with the miss around the corner for Elena. I love it.
But if you're Italy, you're thinking, well, you know, we just got to throw one in here and move these around. We got lots of guards, so we're always going to have a chance here. We just got to get these 3 buried out from behind the guard somehow is the challenge.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I like the call too. Tae Yang trying to draw around everything here. Are they by? Ooh, they rub just slightly. Will it curl back for her? Not
almost,
too bad, but maybe is the triple there? No.
Probably jams.
Yeah. Couldn't see from my angle, but yeah, the overhead certainly looks like it jams.
But there's so many guards, she can afford to throw a hit, which is nice for...
Yeah.
Team Constantini.
Yeah, I have to say, give it up for the crowd. Most of them still sticking around here to catch the end of this draw, even though fan favorites Rachel Homan and Carrie Anderson have exited the building. And we'll see if they get treated to a fiery finish here.
Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah.
That yellow, those yellows back 12 are actually in Team Constantini's favor there, and
yeah, it was nice weight. And we do have our 3rd final of the evening. Unfortunately, that big miss for Isabella Vrono in end number 6, telling the story. Unjung Kim winning that one 6-4, so they will improve to 1-0. The Swedes will drop to 0-1.
gets that red one out through the hole, but I don't think we need to be hitting anymore if you're Italy. Not only one in, you know, that's even in the 8-foot, so is there any easy draws, though, is the next question. Not really. I like the in-turn draw around the center or the out-turn draw bump, but this is the best way to get one really buried behind the two corners. It's just much harder than drawing, so we're already into thirds, first stones.
Need this roll. It's not bad.
Did roll far enough. I think it's, oh, I don't know if it's usable actually. Maybe just.
Maybe, yeah. It'd be probably a last ditch effort if it was.
But the corner guard's usable into that one to lie to.
Yep.
The tighter to center corner guard, the middle one there. So keep the foot on the gas if you're Team Ha. They decided that, you know, early in this end. And
why not?
Need to make some precise freezes here. Can't be heavy and bounce off here and leave a double.
Well, one thing we can be sure of, Brent, we have, through the first 2 slams, been unlucky at often picking the game that ends up being a blowout. We certainly picked the correct game here this evening. The wildest and most interesting game out here, and the only one left on Tuesday night here at the Mary Brown Center.
We should be able to pick as commentators the heater game of the day each day. I don't know that they need a reward or an award, but just to recognize.
The Mary Brown Spicy Chicken Heater Game of the Day.
A good shot there, and Italy wants to talk about it, and I'm not sure what to do. I think you might want to run this corner in, even if it goes into the top one. That's probably only the only one it can go into any good now. They got a problem in the middle, though. You could run the out-turn corner in there and lie 2 buried now. Freeze is fine. Out-turn freeze on shot rock. Lie second and third.
Precise, though.
Very.
They will do guard, and then you like to play that one. But if we freeze here and we play with that one, yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. So
Freeze there, and Soren's convinced they'll have to guard, which I don't think he's wrong.
Yeah.
And then you have that angle raise to lie 3. So because you have that angle raise, I don't know that they will guard. They might follow you down, but that's okay too. So this is a good call. This needs to be made. They said even if you rub off the yellow, I don't know that that would end up very good.
Yeah, that to me seems like the worst result other than coming up way light and guarding it. So big shot here for Giulia Zardini Laciadelli. Mathis leaning on it now. Looks close.
Can't tell by the line call again. They're keeping it. This is perfect.
Really good shot from Zardini Laciadelli.
Bona Giulia's right. That is. Now what?
Yeah, couldn't have walked that down any better.
You got to follow them in there. There's no other way in there, and you can't just let them run that red one in for free to lie 3. That's disastrous. Yeah, it's crunch time. Getting down to it here, and they're 2 minutes now, so they do have enough time, but no timeouts. But
yeah, take about a minute to discuss each shot.
So follow that right down, freeze on there, and if you do, you can get right to the nose of that, which is tricky, but if you do, that corner guard coming in doesn't help them anymore because the yellow one's always going to stay second shot. They'd have to look at the other side for corner guard runs that are much more difficult.
So another important shot here for Seung-Yoon Ha, leading by 2.
Triple threat.
Yeah, here we go. Trying to drag this. Can they get it there? Line is perfect, but weight just not quite there.
And it's overlapped a bit, so if this run back is made, I don't think they're going to have any raises.
Yeah, they might have accidentally put themselves in jail with that one.
If this is made, like if she can plant this, looks like about a half a rock. Could get a little fortune if it's a little thin and come off the back of that yellow that was just thrown. So a couple of options, but if this is planted on that red, you can see there, it'll be mostly buried. They won't really have any way in, and they won't really have any hits. So that kind of means they're gonna have to probably hit that yellow and just let her draw for 3. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you can't let her draw for 3 because then you lose. So you have to figure out a way to not do that. But yeah, no, it's crucial shot here for Stefania Constantini.
If this one's not made, though, you know, 2 looks very difficult. If it is made, 3 looks very likely to me. Or 4.
Yeah, could be the turning point. First rock, 8th end.
Not throwing it very hard. I think there's other ways to make this if you throw it hard, but... Uh-oh.
Ooh, calling for curl here. Angela Romay trying to bring it over. Oh no.
Oh, is that rolling for a kicker? As crazy as that sounds, if that's...
Yeah, I mean, it
did.
It did, yeah. It outcounts the other 2 yellows. So yeah, red lying 2-3-4.
Now you don't have to stick it necessarily, although you have to guard this red one where you're hitting it. You have to guard it because hitting it now, even the yellow coming in, is probably going to win the game. That wasn't particularly close.
No, it was not. Stefania and team have missed a few on the high side straight now. They have 45 seconds, no timeouts here. Sung Yoon Ha is making her way down to the hack now as the team still discusses what to do. Again, very interesting to be making these calls without really a skip involved, but in this case, the time clock necessitates it, down to 25 seconds.
Just needs to guard the outer half of this red one so that Stefania doesn't get another crack at that same shot.
So I do like that from Ha. Gave herself the time in the hack to settle. Ends with 8 seconds on the clock. Final stone here in the 8th end. Trying to guard the run back that Stefania Constantini just threw. Nothing at all from Kim and Yang.
Don't want to get too close and line this up, but I don't think they will. So what's the next shot? And that does the trick.
Yeah, pretty much exactly where they wanted it.
So I think now it might become the red into the top 12 yellow across the top of the other one. And that's awkward, though. She's looking at the double run. This is definitely possible.
Yeah, you're almost hitting the yellow on the nose, maybe. Just
pretty close.
Pretty close. Little high side. Or no, little low side, rather.
Yeah, nose looks awfully close.
Yeah,
and because of that back red one, like, you might not have to stick it now. So any contact on that might win the game, unless that yellow jams on the back yellow. That would be fitting, and just by a 1/4 inch
yeah,
extra end.
We'll see. Lots to play for here. This would be a contender for shot of the week if Stefania Constantini makes it. It's a double run, raise takeout, final stone.
Still not throwing it.
Yeah, not throwing a gun at it, that's for sure. Angela Romay trying to bring it over. I don't think Stefania likes it very much. And indeed, she will not. So Sung-Yun Ha gets that yellow stone into the forefoot early on in the end, and it ends up being the stone that matters. It was a wild ride here tonight, but an 11-8 victory for Sung-Yun Ha. They'll improve to 1-0. Stefania Constantini drops to 0-1 for Brent Lang and everyone here at Home Team. Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll be back at 8:30 a.m. local time tomorrow with more live action from the Coyote National. I've been John Cullen. Good night.